Our next guest is the author of a new book coming out this morning. It is titled The Empire of the Elite Inside Condé Nast, the Media Dynasty That Reshaped America. Joining us right now is an old friend of mine, Michael Grynbaum. He is the media correspondent at the New York Times, and it's nice to see you, sir.
Thanks for having me.
We're just discussing your suits, very Condé Nast stuff. And we were, by the way, should say that we're right really next to the Condé Nast building, the old Condé Nast building, which is no longer the Condé Nast building.
That's right, site of the famous Frank Gehry cafeteria, which was the site of much media gossip in the 2000s.
I remember that cafeteria, actually. So here's the question. You write about sort of a period of time when Condé Nast was it. Magazines were it. We used to sort of devour Vanity Fair and all of this stuff. And the question is it over?
Well,
is it really over?
It is a lost world, right? I mean, we used to learn about the culture every month when this beautifully packaged product of pulp and ink would show up through our mail slots. And that world is gone. We learn about the zeitgeist through thousands of social media channels and digital news outlets. And the truth is, though, places like Vogue and Vanity Fair, these are still some of the most recognizable brands around the world.
Is it just to our generation? Meaning, our kids, I don't know this, actually. Do kids actually know about these publications?
I think that Vogue still means something. I mean, I think it still represents the establishment, sort of fashion authority. The difference is that, you know, if you look at Vogue magazine today, it's almost down to a pamphlet. I mean, it used to be like a doorstop that would like clunk into your house. But I do think when Vogue just ran those wedding photos of Lauren Sanchez at the Jeff Bezos wedding, there were headlines all over the world about the fact that Vogue had featured Lauren Sanchez, that they had gotten the exclusive. So I do think, in a funny way, like online, it still endures. The question is, you know, can the print product really have a future?
You didn't mention Vanity Fair there.
Well, the Vanity Fair Oscar party is still probably the biggest event of Oscar night. I mean, people want to know who's there. And by the way, the Met Gala that Anna Wintour throws every year, the New York Times, I think we've got about 15 people assigned to that. You know,
she was sitting behind Kate at Wimbledon in the Royal Box.
So, but here's the question that I would ask, though, about this. Those publications were, in a way, a manifestation or an avatar of sort of a luxury, right? All of these things you'd see on the cover of Vanity Fair. You'd see Arnold Schwarzenegger on skis in the desert, photographed by Annie Leibovitz, and there was sort of an aspirational whole thing to this. If you are a company like Condé Nast today, where you can't make that kind of money to afford to put Arnold Schwarzenegger on skis in the desert, how do you do that in an age when basically everybody's just on, I don't know if they're all doing it, but reading on Substack?
Yeah, and how do you monetize the brand?
Right.
Yeah, well, listen, I mean, the Newhouse family, Condé Nast has been privately owned since the very beginning. So, you know, they've never had to answer to quarterly analysts and put out reports. And I think they are trying to figure out how to do more with less. The days of the, you know, the lush Condé Nast with the 24-hour limousine service and the Concorde flights to Europe, I mean, that is done.
But is the modern Condé Nast like, I mean, we've had a bunch of the authors from Puck on our broadcast. Is that I mean, there's that. By the way, Graydon Carter now has airmail, which is another service you can get by email. Is that the new version of all of this? Like, where does this all land in the end?
So, I mean, I do think journalistically, you know, email newsletters like Puck, they are the future. They are places where people go for sensibility and kind of a guide to what's happening in the culture. I think what Condé Nast can do as an institution is it still can mount events like the Oscar party, like the Vogue Met Gala.
So it becomes just an event business.
You know, Vogue World, which is this kind of roving spectacle that Anna Wintour runs, is actually probably the most successful part of the Vogue brand of the last few years.
Do you think that Condé Nast ultimately gets sold? So forever, I always thought that, you know, by the way, I thought a big tech company actually would buy one of these companies because of the brands, if you believe the brands have any value.
So I thought that too, but remember, the Newhouse has made $2 billion on a $10 million bet on Reddit when it IPO'd 2 years ago. So the family as a whole, but they've got huge holdings in WBD, although they did sell part of their shares there, and also Charter Communications. So this is a diversified media empire, Advanced Publications. They have the money to bankroll Condé Nast if they want to in the future. The question is, will the future generations of this family decide that that's not worth it? These are assets they can sell off. They can sell it off to tech firms. I don't see Vogue being sold anytime soon, but I wouldn't be surprised if the smaller magazines were sold off for parts.